haven't done a video for a while, but it doesn't mean I haven't been busy. Here it is. So you might notice it's wearing different wheels and tyres from when you last saw it. It's now got XJS speedline wheels on it with cut slicks that, let's be honest, aren't in the best condition, but they can be, so we can replace those, that's no problem. The wing is back on, which was one thing I was really, pushing for. I wanted to get it done, so that's all good news. On the front end, the headlights back in, or the bumpers back on, so it's it's looking like a complete car, to be honest. What I did do is replace the shock absorber, I don't know if you're able to see in there, with a gas adjustable, and was going to do the same on the other side, obviously, and that's where the problems started, really. So there's not been very many videos for a while because I've been trying to think what to do. I mean, the car, it looks lovely, it's really starting to come together, but I found a lot of problems. Bad bodgery covered up by previous owners. Now, I went to fit the shock absorber on this side. You have to remove the expansion tank. The expansion tank has actually rusted through, which, not the end of the world, we'll get a new expansion tank. I noticed when I was doing this though that there was a plate on the inner wing that didn't look like it was very well attached. I gave it a little prod with a screwdriver, and well, I think that pretty much speaks for itself. So this is a bit of a problem because, I mean, you can see how many times it's been bodged. That's non-original, this is non-original, that's non-original. The only bit is like this, and that's obviously rotted away. Now, it's supposed to be double skinned, but obviously it's supposed to be in much better condition than that. This also then makes you think, what else have they been up to? So I thought I'd have a better look at the sill, which was going to be one of the next bits I did. As you can see, that's now turned a fair bit worse than it was. So the guys, basically the previous owners, covered everything with chemical metal, which you can see down there. Now, I thought it was filler, but it really isn't. It's like concrete. It's brilliant. So basically all wants chopping out. This is the chassis, well, the inner chassis leg. So I mean, it needs to be right. There's not. It's not good. And then if we look down on this side, hello. Not a lot left. This patch here is a really crude, really thin patch that's been pop riveted on, tack welded on, and then obviously you can see the hole in the outer sill, which you can see from the other side. All that wants redoing. All that wants redoing. Now, I'm not so much bothered about this side because a floor and a sill in an XJS is not a big deal at all. It's quite an easy fix. The bit that does worry me a little is the shock absorber mount on this side. It's going to take a lot of work. I mean, most people say that you've got to take the engine and gearbox out to do this because you have to drop the front subframe. I'm hoping that's not the case. I can't really see too well in there without the wheel off, but you can see the hole above the tyre there. I can't really drop the engine and gearbox where I'm at the moment. Obviously I haven't got anywhere to store it. I haven't got, well, the car would be immobile and it can't be. So I'm kind of stuck now as to what to do. I've got a few ideas. One of them is to reshell the car. Obviously, if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that most of the suspension, the braking components, all that are all brand new. All the bushes are brand new. I've got outboard disc brakes ready to go on it, which makes things a hell of a lot easier. The wheels are nice now, the tyres are good. The engine and gearbox in this car is really strong, really healthy. So I either reshell it into, use the mechanicals into either a Series 1, Series 2 or Series 3 XJ6. Find one with a good body and put all my nice mechanicals into that. Find a decent XJS shell and reuse all my parts on that one. The nice chrome, the nice bumpers, the nice lights, the nice wheels, etc. If I got a V12, that would mean I could still use the manual gearbox, which would mean I'd have a V12 manual XJS, which would be quite a cool thing. Or the alternative is I carry on and fix this. I'm not really sure, to be honest, which is why I'm here tonight. I'm going to jack it up, have a little prod and have a little poke, try and figure out if it's possible to repair that rust on the suspension without dropping the engine and gearbox and front cross member. If it is, then we'll probably have a go at fixing this, because as I'm sure you'll agree, it sits well, it looks nice, it deserves to be fixed really. So yeah, when I've got the wheel off, we'll have another look. So, not great news. We thought about fixing, I mean, we knew about that, that's not a problem. Thought about fixing the shock absorber mount, which you can see has been amazingly badly welded. I mean, not even welded as such up there. And obviously over behind here. We figured that the best way of doing it would be to unbolt the top arm from there and there, unbolt it from the ball joint and move this whole assembly out of the way. This shock absorber was coming off anyway, you know, so that'd give us the access to repair most of that. You could do a lot of the work from the other side in the engine bay, so that weren't a problem. So we thought, right, okay, while we're here, let's have a little poke around, see what else we're up against. Not good. So the jacking points on this car, well, that's what's left of them. As you can see, not ideal. The more I look, the more I find it's got a thin skim of filler pretty much everywhere. I don't know if you can see, all down there is filler. The previous owner's idea of fixing this sill end is a patch that's tack welded on just there, tack welded on just there, tack welded on somewhere in there. But he's basically put filler over the top of all the rust and then covered all that with a thick layer of sealant. We took the splash panel out of this side and found all this. I don't know if you can really see that very well. There we go. So that is the main door post, and as you can see, it's not really attached anymore. This is the top of the outer sill. Not very much left there, and although you can't see it, that's straight through into the interior of the car. Not ideal, not good at all, in fact. More amazing repairs were this, which I quite liked. As you can see, it's just been siliconed over the top of a lot of rust, which has just let it fester, get worse. The list goes on really. One good bit was the outer sill, what I thought was got a massive hole in it, hasn't even. But when we look underneath now, yeah, things are starting to get a bit serious. The sill lip all the way down is gone. There's no point prodding at it any more than that. The outer sill gone, covered in sealer. The jacking point used to be there, obviously gone. Yeah, and pretty much anywhere where there's underseal, all this is just filler. You can see the filler there, look. All there, you can see that's apparently a decent patch. I think that's a hole actually. That hole? Oh yeah, there we go. That was well welded on, wasn't it? That's yeah, that's the extent of the repairs really. There's just nothing, no strength left in anything, you know, the floor pan itself flexes and moves now. It's serious. So I think that's pretty much sealed the fate of this car, to be honest. I think it's going to be a reshell, which is a shame because, well, it looks nice from the outside. It's not a bad looking car, the colour's nice, the paintwork's alright. You know, it sits really well. It's just, I mean, I work out of this garage. Luckily, I've got access to power, so it's not the end of the world, but obviously it's a single car garage, so there's nowhere to put the things I take off. You know, for instance, if I take the engine, gearbox and front subframe out of it to do the front end welding, where do I put them? So, you know, I have to be quite conscious of the fact that obviously people live around here. It's not ideal at all. I don't really know where to go from here. If anyone's got an XJ6 Series 1 or 2 or an XJS that's got a half decent body shell but needs everything else, I'd be very interested in talking to you. Obviously my bumpers are good, my lights are good, trim's good, wheels are good, suspension's good. It's had so many bad repairs. I think it's at a point now where it's fixable, but not fixable out of a single car garage as a bit of a weekend fun project. So I'm going to have to think about options, basically. So you might not see much more of the XJS project, unfortunately. There will be something else, that's for sure. But for now, I think this will probably be one of the last videos I do for it. As I've said, if anyone's got anything out there that's worth fixing, hasn't got terminal rust, get in touch. Cheers.